Hey everybody, welcome to The Player's Take, episode 78. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my two co-hosts, the aspiring Ghost of Tsushima, Montrell and Tiara. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
All right.
So who's the aspiring Ghost of Tsushima? I would
Both
assume
of
that's
you.
him and not me. No, you can't.
Both of you.
Justin, I've been noticing that. You know, I let you slide a couple weeks, you know, but
Oh no.
you know, me and Montrell are two different people. Now we have similar interests,
What?
but you're gonna have to get a bit more creative when
you want me to come up with individual nicknames? No, fuck that.
I do.
I don't have time for that nonsense.
I do because our podcast is so important to you. Our viewers, our listeners are so important to you.
Yeah.
And so you will put in the work for us.
Look, you know, if I can come up with something like, you know, the vet thing a few weeks ago with you, like, I'll do that. But if I don't see anything that piques my interest or like hits with me, I'm just gonna come up with some generic nickname for both.
You know,
so
this is your third week in a row, and so I'm letting you know.
So she wonders why, Justin, I put our most controversial member in that tweet. This is it right here.
I am not the most controversial member.
No, this is not why she's controversial.
I just said how it is.
All of you listening, I know some of you probably follow Tiara. If you don't, though, go to her Twitter and just read her feed for like 5 minutes, and you'll see why she's controversial. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
I am an upstanding citizen.
You are. I'm not saying you're not.
Media.
You're 100% a functioning, contributing member of society. But you know, there's some things on your Twitter sometimes I'm like, man, I might mute her today, but it hasn't happened yet.
I feel like I understand.
You know, doesn't mean I won't do a podcast with you, but you know,
I feel like I understand. I often wonder how many of my friends have me muted. I often wonder this.
You know, it is what it is. You know, you got to be you, right? You got to be you out there. So that's what makes your Twitter interesting, is that you are who you are. And if you weren't who you are and you tried to, like, you know, make it all nice, it'd be kind of boring. You know, it's just you can't
I tell people all the time, the same person I am on Twitter is the same person I'm in real life. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
For the most part. You know, I think Montrell tries a little hard sometimes on there, but you know, we all do. Isn't that what Twitter's about?
But it's so funny because literally me and Montrell can literally be going at it on Twitter, and then we be having a completely different conversation in text messages, and I'd be thinking to myself, if people actually like looked at our Twitter to see, you know, if this is really us, they would be highly disappointed.
Oh no, yeah, if they searched up our ads and like just searched them up, they'll see arguments because it's all me and her do all the timelines to argue.
Yeah. Hey, it's fair enough. You know, I've gotten on there a little bit more recently. You know, there's some.
Yeah, I see you. I wanted to congratulate you.
There's some misses in there and there's some hits. You know, it is what it is. You got to go for it. You know.
I want to congratulate you on tweeting more. I appreciate it. You engage some people. You know? I like it, man.
You know, I'm trying to get in there. I did some Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, you know, over the weekend. It was fun. I like that. That was, you know, doing PS4 share. That's pretty cool. I've never used that feature before. It's actually pretty good for the most part. So, all right. This is a video game podcast, so let's get into the video games for the people. You know, we haven't gotten a complaint yet that we do too much bullshit at the beginning. It's probably because it's only been like 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm sure it'll come if we ever get a bigger audience. It'll come at some point. I'm telling you guys, it will. Too much non-gaming talk. You know, they're here for the games. Games. So, Tiara, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, but thank you for asking.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I was talking. I just kept going, and you were saying something, but I don't know.
No,
right.
No, I'm good.
Let me get into the rigmarole. I'm tired. For those of you who haven't listened before, The Player's Take is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. We're also on YouTube on Mondays, 6 a.m. Central Time. So let's start, like we always do, with what we've been playing. What have you guys been playing this week? Is it the same thing as last week?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima and League of Legends. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I will go first.
Okay. Ladies first. We are gentlemen on this podcast.
Are we?
I am. I don't know about you, Montrell.
You know, I would say, before I go into that, the gaming community is full of incels and degenerates, and us three, we are above that. This is why
Yeah,
you should
we're,
listen.
we're degenerates, but we're not like level 3 degenerates.
And I got into it today. Sage had a tweet yesterday about the PS4 controller thing, and I kind of replied to a couple of his tweets like, "Yeah, gamers are whiners." We do need to be careful because that's our audience, guys. So let's not take too many shots at gamers.
No, I was gonna say that. So I was gonna talk about that too, but I'll let Tiara finish.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, well, that's all I wanted to say. As far as I'm saying back into like the game, what I've been playing, Ghost of Tsushima. I've really been putting out a lot of hours to Ghost of Tsushima because I'm trying to beat it. I'm trying to platinum it and be done with it.
Trying to platinum it. How far are you in it?
I just finished the end of Act 2, so I'm now in Act 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the game story is moving along pretty well. I actually like the plot twist and stuff that's happening. But I also want to get back on my first person shooters and stuff. Like I told you, I'm trying to get back into really gaming competitively. So, but if I played that, it's like, oh, why can't you still do both? Because for me, I'm like single track. Like when I'm playing a game, especially if it's single player, I'm trying to just get through it. Like I'm literally trying to get through it. If I'm playing Warzone, I'm be thinking in the back of my head, I could just be playing Ghost of Tsushima. I want to know what's happening next in the Ghost of Tsushima. So it's gonna bother me. So I need to get Ghost of Tsushima out of the way so that I can focus back into Warzone. So yeah.
All right, fair enough. Montrell, you've been playing more Ghost of Tsushima as well.
I've been trying, but I haven't really touched it. Like I said, I've been like really busy this week. So
am I close to surpassing you? How far are you in the game?
I'm still in Act 2. I'm still in Act 2.
You're in Act 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I started playing it as well last week, and man, I gotta say this game is fucking excellent. There's no other way to say it. I was skeptical.
Wait, what? Hold on.
If you guys have listened to the show in the months leading up to this game's release, Montrell and I were very skeptical about this game. Me probably more than him. And yeah, playing this game, man, I was blown away by how good I think it is. Like I'm like, holy shit, this game fucking rocks. Like it's taken me by surprise. Like I'm playing on lethal, the new difficulty they added last week, and I'm kind of glad I waited because I am enjoying the fuck out of this game on lethal. It's like ridiculously fun. It's frustrating at times, but
I rolled it back. I rolled it back to hard because again, I need to beat this game and I don't got time to be dying 50 million times, honestly. Like I ain't got that time. So I rolled it back to hard,
Well, I'm deciding to take that time because it's making the game more fun for me. The combat encounters are like all of them are deadly, on lethal. Even ones against shitty little enemies, like 3 or 4 guys. Like it's like you can only take like 2 hits at the beginning of the game. Literally 2 hits. Some enemies will one shot you if they even hit you.
Yeah.
So it's a very intense experience.
But how do you feel about the duels?
As you play more, you get more health and you do more damage and stuff. So the game does get easier.
No. I'm saying, but how do you feel about the duels on lethal mode?
They're fucking awesome. Oh my god, they're so fun. I love them on lethal because it's exactly what I want out of a duel. I don't want to be able to take 15 hits and just like outlast this guy because my HP pool is so large. Like I like the fact that I can only take 2 or 3 hits before I'm dead.
I mean, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same in the hard as well. It's just that lethal, the parry windows are much shorter.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that because I haven't played hard.
So yeah, I think you came at an advantage. I think it would be hard for us to be.
It's hard for us because
it'd be the opposite for me. If I went down to hard, I actually think it would fuck me up because I'm used to the quick timing on the parries because the parry windows are short, but you get used to them. You kind of get used to whatever you're playing.
Yeah, I'm about to say us who started off the game, I had completed a good portion of the game, all of Act 1 and half of Act 2 on hard mode before last week or whenever Lethal actually came out, and I was just like, all right, like I don't have time to be putting in extra hours to get
used to those parry windows.
Get used to the parry windows. I don't got time for that right now.
Like, because I posted this gameplay on Twitter. The duel, this is the first duel I did was the one with the Heavenly Strike quest.
Yeah.
And that was the one that was like that was my first duel, but it was so fun. Like it was really hard, but once I got it, and it felt like so good, you know.
But that's what we're saying. You're having an advantage because remember, Montrell, that was kind of well. I got to the Heavenly Strike person later than you did. You kind of got to him kind of early.
He was one of the first things I did. I had barely gotten any hot springs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. You have a bit of an advantage. When I got to the Heavenly Strike person, I had, it was probably like I had already completed half of the first island. So I had already got used to the fighting. So it wasn't difficult for me. Like it was like okay, but. Like I'm saying, like the only reason why I asked about the duels is because I think about those straw hat guys.
Oh yeah, when you get to Act 2, it's gonna be wild.
And then the final straw hat guy, not even Reezy, but you know what I'm talking about, Montrell. Like that was hard on hard. So I'm like,
I'm looking forward to it. I am.
I think I'm not gonna do the lethal mode. I'm gonna do it in a second playthrough. I'm not gonna do it in my first playthrough because I'm already used to hard mode, and I started on hard mode. And when I played hard mode, that was the only mode
that's the way. I agree with you. You should probably do it that way. I don't think trying to go into lethal mid playthrough. This is why it's kind of questionable. They released it 2 weeks after the game came out.
Well, because everybody already beat the game.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
because I'm about to say now lethal on a new game plus. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, trying to switch mid game, like I was just like it's
I would never recommend that in any game, switching difficulties mid game unless you're going down. Don't go up. Like that's a bad idea generally because the game, some of these games can drastically change. If it's just HP and damage that's changing, that's one thing, but the fact that the parry windows are different on lethal versus hard, that's gonna
parry windows and dodging, like like because the difference with lethal is they use so many more unblockable attacks than they do in hard. Like every attack is pretty much an unblockable.
It's crazy. Every enemy type has an unblockable attack, pretty much. And they use them like very frequently. It's almost kind of, that is like the one thing with the game that is a little annoying is how much unblockable shit there is, because certain enemies, if you get hit by the unblockable, it's a one shot on lethal. Like it doesn't matter what they are for the most part. Like the shield guys, you can take a shield hit, you can take a spear hit, you can even take a halberd hit sometimes. But the guys who are dual wielding or the big axe guys / hammer dudes, if you get hit by their shit, you're dead straight up. You're just done.
Okay.
So the thing is though, you kill enemies so fast that it's not that bad. You know, it's like they're taking as much damage.
Are you still in Act 1?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's why you say that.
I mean, I know.
I'm
I understand. No, there are tiers of enemies already, and I'm sure that gets worse as the game goes on.
I say in Act 2, when you just meet them random straw hat people, they don't be like going down in on one hit or a couple hits. You gotta keep hitting them, like So
stick the katana in there.
The way you talking sounds like Act 1. Like but I'm about to say, and then keep in mind, you still Rizu is still out there. You still gotta fight Rizu. Rizu was hard when I
don't think he's that far. I don't think he's that far yet. So spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you already. I'm sorry. I thought you already.
I'm not done with Act 1 yet.
Yeah, he's not done with Act 1 yet. So. But I think the game's really good. One thing I did want, it's not even related to Ghost of Tsushima. I was going through my games though. I don't know what happened over the past 2 or 3 weeks, but League of Legends has been picking up steam as far as like people playing it, and like I got like actual friends now playing League of Legends, and that's why I've been playing it so much.
I saw that.
Is it on PC?
Yeah, it's on PC. But
do I need to join you guys?
Like,
yeah, do we have a vibe? Like, do we have like a pre-made if like I joined in? Like,
yeah, like if I've been playing with like 2 or 3 people, and if we get like 2 or 3 more people, we got like last night I was playing with the pre-made of 5, and it was fun as fuck. So
of course it is. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no randos. Like that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, but a lot of people just start jumping into League. Like, oh, I've been trying to get back in League, and then some people DM me and was like, hey, like, can you stream it? Because I need to know the meta, and I want to get back into it. So, I mean, I may do that, but I don't know what's been going on with League of Legends. Like, I haven't really been seeing a big push, but I know a lot of people said that they have been advertising it a lot lately. So, I don't know, but I'm glad it's getting back. Also, side note, Ryan plays Dota, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh okay.
At work, yeah. So anyway, but But back to Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, I just have to. I do this with a lot of open world games. I get to a certain point and I just drop it, and I'm gonna get back to it because it's probably because I burnt myself out of it. So I don't really want to burn myself out of Ghost of Tsushima. So I did drop it for a little bit, but I'm probably gonna pick it back up probably tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to me because I'm still in Act 1. I probably have like 20 or 30% of it left, like that part of the island to explore.
Yeah.
And I was definitely getting burnt on the side stuff, like a little bit last night. So I got back into the story, and I think I'm almost done with the story missions for Act 1. But yeah, I will say, like the game, like I can't believe how much there is to do in it. It's like crazy how big this game is.
I've cleared both islands. I'm on the top part of the island now. So like that's what I did. Like I did all of the side missions and all of the stuff. And then I did the main missions, went to the next part of the island, did all the stuff, and now I'm on the third part of the island. So like
that's what I was trying to describe to you last week. Does it feel like you probably won't feel like this to the second act, because that's what me and Tiara was talking about. When we got to the second act, then we started to see the repetitiveness.
Yeah, but like, another fucking Inari shrine.
Yeah, like, but now, but that's like 40 hours into the game, though. Like, that's like 50 hours into the game. But it's like that first 40, 50 hours, like, it's hard to explain because it is repetitive, but you don't see it. Like, it's just really well made, if that makes any sense.
I started to feel that, I feel like I started to feel that way only because changes in Ghost of Tsushima don't happen until you advance through the main storyline. Yeah. Me being in Act 3 now, there's a lot of stuff that happens in Act 2, and it's just like, but while I'm being the completionist trying to get the platinum trophy, like I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna clear this area out first. I already know the different acts that are gonna be the different parts of the island, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna clear this act first because it's obvious. You gotta beat, first was Castle Kaneda. You gotta get Castle Kaneda. Then you move to the second part of the island, get Castle Shimura or whatever. And then now whatever after that. But I'm just saying, like, I completed everything. So if you're gonna be like, oh, go to this every single shrine, every single Hat Springs, of course it's going to be repetitive.
Yeah.
But if I was just to do like a couple shrines and then a couple side mission and then the main mission, it wouldn't feel repetitive at all.
Well, like you guys said, the game's actually, like, if you just focus on the main story, the game's probably not that long. Like, there's only 7 or 8 missions in Act 1. Like,
that's how all of I feel like open world games are. If you really just focus on the main mission, they're not long at all.
Yeah, the game, like, the missions are 30 minutes, for the most part. They're not really that long. It's just the running around, doing the forts and all the, like, the liberations and then all the side quests and all this other shit. Some of it's important, but it's like, I don't like, if you're playing on easy, you could probably get through the game with very minimal side stuff,
Yeah.
So
but I do like the fact, what I don't like in games is when games give you busy work. Like, I don't like that. This has nothing to do with nothing. I'm doing this, like, I think about, for instance, let me think of what game I think about. Assassin's Creed 3, when they first introduced hunting, like, it was so repetitive. It made no sense. It was just busy work, whereas in Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of the side quests, that's how you get the different armors. Like right now, I'm doing a quest where I got some armor that I'm going to get. I have to get 5 different pieces and for it. But a lot of your armor in Ghost of Tsushima comes from side quests. So it's not busy work. It's like, okay, I got to do this to get this armor.
Yeah, and it has gameplay implications.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. So I like that.
You can go throughout the whole game without those 4 special abilities that you get.
Yep, the mythic
one.
The mythic ones. So it does pay off to do the side quests and everything of that nature.
Now, I will say, I do want to talk about game balance a little bit with this game because, you
get the longbow too.
There's some
side quests.
There is some really OP shit. The mythic abilities are insane. Like, the Heavenly Strike is broken as shit. It's the most ridiculous ability in the game.
It's broken. It's broken now.
wait till you get that. Yeah, it's broken now because that Heavenly Strike don't be doing shit to enemies.
Yeah.
I don't even use that shit no more. It doesn't even.
It kind of rubs off. It is broken. Act 1, they make you feel like you're the most powerful person
right,
ever.
Act 1, but
Right,
I'm about to say after that, that
I'm just saying because I've not found an enemy yet that can block it.
Yeah.
So if I just use it on them constantly.
It is unblockable, yeah.
But yeah, if I use it on them constantly, I could literally cheese every fight, including the duels. Like it's absurd so far. But I mean, if somebody can block it, then that's
in the duels now in the later duels they'll dodge it. They'll just straight up dodge it, and they'll punish you for using it.
Yes, I had Heavenly Strike and dodge so many times, and it's just like a slight to the left dodge too. And
yeah, they'll definitely punish you for it, and that's why I stopped on my first duel. Yeah, on my first duel with one of the later people in Act 2, they punished the shit out of me. I was like,
then if it even connects, it doesn't even do that much damage.
Yeah.
Well, it never really does that much damage unless you get a direct hit. Usually they try to block it and it just staggers them back.
Yeah, so they have a stagger bar if you guys didn't notice that.
Yeah, gives you an opening to hit them.
Yeah,
that's usually how it, and that's why it's OP. It's not necessarily that it's like an auto hit. It's that fact that it will stagger them no matter what. Like if it hits, if it connects. Like,
I would say Montrell. Did you get Dance of Wrath yet?
No, I didn't get that yet.
Okay,
I'm trying to get it.
When y'all get Dance of Wrath, that's OP.
No, that one. No, I know that one looks ridiculous
all the time. I use Dance of Wrath all the time. That is an OP move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still think the standoff is stupidly overpowered too. It doesn't matter what enemy you're fighting.
Wait till y'all get Ghost Stance. Y'all think standoffs is OP. Wait till you get Ghost Stance. Like,
so I mean, I don't mind these things. Like, it's just funny. It's like it's funny how like ridiculously overpowered some of them are, and some of the moves are just like they hit like wet noodles. Like it's
I will say the standoffs come really in handy when you want to thin out enemies. Like you will be glad that they're overpowered because you're like, I can't.
Dude, I'm at the point. I'm at the point in Act 1 where I am literally. I walk up to a fort, I stand off, and then I kill everyone else after the standoff. Like I'm not even using stealth at this point in Act 1. Like
I feel like that's the way you got to go to a place, go to an area that's going to give you the reward is gold.
Yeah.
When you have to liberate an area to what, and it's a huge area with like 5 different sections. Like this one place I just had to rescue. It was like I had to rescue like 5 different peasants, and they were literally in 5 different areas of this one village. It was huge.
Well, they do that with some of the major population areas. Have one of them, like Osmo Bay, had a side quest that was like that. And that was like a huge side quest, but it was basically like a fort takedown with extra objectives.
I know, but that's like the entry. That's like the entry quest to tell you, okay, this is like a fort. Like this is what you do. But I'm saying like as you get later on in the game, there are some of them that are so big, and I've taken down like 40 enemies before in like one area, like, and that's rare for like just to liberate the area.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some areas that are like that. So a standoff, I kill 5. Well, now it's 5 people that I can kill with a standoff. I kill 5 people with a standoff, and that makes nothing, not a dent into the ranks.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy for standoffs, personally.
Yeah. Well, I've also gotten into using the bow a lot more, the half bow. I wasn't really using it at first because I didn't like understand how to use it very well. And I've actually figured it out, and now it's like a very useful tool for thinning enemy groups, honestly, because if they're running at you, getting a headshot on them is actually really not that hard because they just run straight at you. They don't like zigzag at all, really. So if they're far enough away, you can like what's happened to me lately is I've been doing a standoff on like a group of 5 or 6. And I kill 3 of them, and the other 3 are like way off in the distance for some reason. I just pull out my bow, plop, 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 headshot, 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 and that's the encounter. So it's like, it is like the game's like really versatile in the way you can tackle things. Because obviously, I could have dealt with them with stealth. I could have used the standoff and just man fought them. However you want to do it. You can use bombs or shurikens or kunai, whatever. So it's like your arsenal is like insanely diverse. And I actually really like that. And the fact that I'm playing on lethal, I'm having to use everything at my disposal.
Yeah.
I can't really take combat encounters just straight up for the most part. Like sometimes I can, depending on the encounter, but if there's too many enemies to throw like a sticky bomb or the black powder bomb or whatever to thin numbers and stagger some guys, because you can't take 10 guys at once. It's impossible on lethal.
I think I haven't played on the other difficulties, but I think that's one advantage of playing on hard and lethal. You have to use everything to your disposal. I feel like you playing on normal easy, like you wouldn't have to use the black bombs or the smoke bombs or anything like that.
You can fight everything.
Yeah.
And even just to go back to my point about the game not giving you busy work, those shrines that you kind of got to Assassin's Creed climb, they give you really good charms.
Yep.
That I have, a couple ones like right now. The charms that I run with is, one is arrows are silent on impact. That is like crucial because I can hit somebody with an arrow, they could die, and they wasn't looking directly at the person dying. They would never hear the person actually dying. Whereas now, if they will hear the impact of the arrow. So I went with that one, and then there's another one. Black bombs light them on fire or something like that.
Yeah, I do, and I understand like this game being good is subjective. Like it's not an objective fact; it's a subjective thing. But I do see some people being contrarians on Twitter and Reddit and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, this game plays like a PS3 open world game." That's like, okay, bro, like. Nah, you're just talking shit.
When people talk like that, sometimes they just sound like cartoony. I know I've probably done it with some things, but it's like this is not that game though. This isn't like Phantasy Star Online 2, which literally plays like it's a
that
early
plays like
gen
a last
PS3
gen
game. It's like this is a very much a PlayStation 4 game. It handles actually that's one of the things I wanted to praise about the game is like controlling Jin is excellent. Like he controls so well. Like I feel like I have full control of him at all times. Like I never lose him in movement or anything like that, The
only thing I don't like is I don't like the ability to auto lock on. Because there's sometimes where I would, there's sometimes where I would attack in a certain direction, but then he don't attack in that direction. And I know where I'm pushing the controller.
Yeah, I'm so happy you brought that up. Because this has been a debate about this game. I think a lot of people are using this as their point of hating it, that there is no lock-on in this game, which is definitely a departure for third-person action games currently. Even games like Sekiro and Neo have lock-ons, and even Monster Hunter is lock-on. Actually, thinking about it,
but it's just about game control.
Well, it wasn't the first game to do this. Devil May Cry, DMC Devil May Cry, its first iteration, not the definitive edition, but its first iteration, it did not have lock on, and that was like a huge deal for the Devil May Cry community. The reason I feel like it's different in this game, I don't feel like you need a lock on. I feel like you need to highlight. Like, let me highlight the enemy that I'm about to attack.
Okay,
that lets me know.
I think that's a good compromise.
Because I feel like a lock on will break.
I may not need a lock on per se, but let me know who I'm targeting currently.
I know what you're talking about, Tiara, where there seems like there's a soft lock sometimes where Jin will just be looking in the opposite direction from the direction you're pushing the controller. And you're like trying to attack an enemy that's like in front of you, and he's for some reason aiming behind you. And
exactly.
It's like, I don't know why the game does that. So there seems to be a soft lock, but the thing is, like, a lot of people are upset that there's no lock on in this game, and I get it because you've been conditioned to use lock on. But for me, at this point with action games, I can't think of an action game recently that I played in the last 5 years where I actually use lock on, like a lot. Like I might use it occasionally if it's like a 1v1 fight, I'll use it in that situation. But if I'm fighting a group of enemies, I don't want lock on. I want to be able to control the camera and like see everything and move around and maneuver. It's like so the fact that this game doesn't have it for me is like not an issue at all. I'm completely used to that play style at this point.
So I understand that sentiment. I don't know if y'all guys are big action game people, but I do use lock on. I use lock on in Devil May Cry. I use lock on in Kingdom Hearts. revengeance and everything of that nature. It's very helpful. The thing about this game that's different from those games is those games are, you may have one, I wouldn't say 1 or 2 enemies. You will have a lot of enemies on the screen, like maybe up to 6 enemies. But the way those enemies attack, they're programmed not to attack you off screen. So if they're off screen, they're not going to attack you. If they're on screen, they will attack you. But that's why they have lock on and things of that nature and all that stuff like that, to pull off certain combos, to get rid of certain enemies and things of that nature, especially on harder difficulties. So like in those action game scenarios, I understand. I feel like games like Batman, I'll even put this game like the Batman, like Spiderman-esque type action games, the Western action type games, even like God of War or something of that nature. I feel like a soft lock on is a perfect for it. I just need you to highlight the enemy I'm about to attack, so I can know when I'm about to do it. So you don't have to necessarily lock onto it, but just highlight it. I just need
to know where my swing's going.
Exactly.
But the thing about why it's so irritating that he doesn't lock on is because nothing is automatic. It's kind of like For Honor. Like you can't parry, you know. Even if I time it correctly, if my back is turned to the enemy, they're still gonna hit me.
They're still gonna hit you.
It's not an automatic parry. So I have to be facing you in order to parry your attack. And there be many times where I get hit because Jin is not facing him.
Yeah, and I get that. And that's why I said like a soft, like a highlight will be, because some games have this. I think God of War had it. Some game had it where you just look at the enemy and it highlights them instead of locking them.
Kingdom Hearts has that.
Yeah, there you go. Kingdom Hearts.
Like that's why I don't use the lock on a Kingdom Hearts either, because it has a soft lock, but it displays it.
Yeah.
Like if you look around, it will move the lock on reticle throughout the enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that's the game I was thinking about then. It has a soft lock on. So I think this game will benefit from it. I actually like the minimalist approach to the UI. A lot of people who have been hating on it, they're like, oh, I don't like the minimalist approach. I like I didn't know that even though this has nothing to do with the UI, the way the game will dictate weather is how you play Jin. So if you use Ninja Jin mode, like if you using assassin attacks, you'll get more thunderstorms and more darkness because he's being dishonorable.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it is.
I tested it out and it actually it is.
I was getting a lot of thunderstorms early because the early game I was playing very heavily stealth because lethal's really hard. So I was afraid of fighting. And as I've gotten more powerful, I've been fighting more, and now the weather is like sunny and bright all the time because I'm fighting things straight up,
Yeah, and that's confirmed because I saw that on Reddit, and I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. But then the co-creator or whoever, one of the lead designers actually confirmed, like, yeah, that's what we designed.
No, I'm gonna say I just pulled up an article about it, and it said that now I gotta try it out now. The scientist has to try it out.
I don't really like it as a feature though, because the game is so beautiful, and I hate the rain. Like
I love it. Actually,
I hate the rain too.
I don't like. I think the rain takes away from the beauty.
To me, it's just a visibility thing. Like playing at night sometimes.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'd be like, man, that's the only thing I don't like too. Ghost just seems to have some type of meditatability, like Witcher 3, where you're able to change from night to day, day to night. Because sometimes I'm just like, can it be day already so I can see?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be willing to fight at night. So I'm like, I want to do this mission at night. Like this is a perfect mission to do at night or whatever. So I do wish they had that kind of ability. Yeah, like a meditation ability.
Wait a minute.
Want me to hold on in a podcast, or you just saying hold on in general? I'm sorry.
No. I was saying hold on, like hold your statement. I got a quick question. This says right here. It says playing your flute can change the weather. Has anybody experienced that?
No.
What? No. I mean, I've played it a couple times, but
I didn't get different songs yet, so all I have is the same song.
Man, you degenerate. You gotta get those songbirds, man, or whatever they
are. That's how you get more songs? Okay, I didn't know that.
The little birds in the cages.
I thought they were crickets.
Or crickets, yeah. Sorry, the crickets.
I definitely have not been collecting crickets. Those things are fucking hard to find.
Oh, they're in cemeteries.
They're all in cemeteries.
Okay.
Literally all in.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
But it says that playing your flute allows you to change between sunny, foggy, rainy, and storms whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, then I guess that's okay. Then there's a way to control it. Then
yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
One thing I think that I saw a lot of people complain about, and I thought maybe I'm a basic bitch when it comes to gaming, because I've been gaming for about 27 years now, so I don't know, but maybe I'm a basic bitch. I like that the wind is your marker. I love that shit.
Oh, I love that too.
I think that's the most intuitive thing I've ever seen in gaming.
I like the immersion of it.
Yeah,
I like the immersion of it. It took me some getting used to, because sometimes I would come across smoke and that looks like the wind sometimes, so I would get confused. But now that I'm used to it, I like the immersion. I think, like you said, going back to the minimalist UI, love it. Like sometimes I would be like, what am I supposed to be doing, because I'm so used to the objective of what you're supposed to be doing, always on the screen,
telling you where to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, always on the screen. But as you're playing along, like if I'm just riding along, it'll eventually go away, and maybe when I pull up the wind again, it'll come back. But I like that, because it's just like, you don't always have to see.
There's no mini map either.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's another part of it.
Mini map.
Yes. Yeah, that's a huge immersion piece as well. I think more games should do this, more open world games.
Yeah, because you don't need a mini map, honestly.
I don't think you do. I honestly, the more I've played these games, I like kind of turn it off if they have one.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing, right? I think that's why you get so immersed, and that's why that kind of contributes to the less repetitiveness. Even though it is repetitive, you come across things when you're like riding, just following the wind, you just come across random stuff in that game. Yep. Whereas if your mini map was on all the time, you'll know what you're about to come across and you'll know what to expect. But like when you're just riding along in the wind, it's too much of a hassle to press start and then look at the map and then unpress start and then play the game. So you're just riding along and you come across these random objectives and things of that nature, and you're like, oh man, that's cool. Like, oh, I ran across this random enemy camp, or this random peasant being
accosted by Mongols.
Accosted by Mongols or something like that. And it's just really cool in that aspect. And I saw a lot of people hating on that. And I thought, like, just implementing the wind as that being your wave marker, like, that would have been cool. Like, what if you were playing God of War or something like that, and like, I don't know, a ray of sunshine or Zeus or whatever the fuck, like, just it's like blasting something in the distance, and that's where your wave marker is. I think a lot of I think the next wave of games are gonna do this, because we kind of seen this with The Last of Us. Even though it's not an open world game, they're like, hey, that marker in the distance, that Ferris wheel in the distance, you got to get there, and it's like, fuck, how the fuck I'm supposed to get there? And that immersed me in the world of Last of Us 2. And I think Ghost of Tsushima did the same thing, where it's like, yeah, just follow the wind, or that mountain range over there, that's where we need to go, whatever the fuck. And I like that. I like that more than like just placing a mark on my map and then seeing my number dwindle down as I get closer to the objective. So
the meter marker. I mean, this game does have that. Like, if you use the wind a lot, like, there's a meter marker on you. Like, if you have a pin location. It
is. But at the same time, the game also focuses you to actually do the stuff yourself. Like, I remember you remember me telling you, Montrell, in the very beginning, I'm like, I'm tired of having to, like, look at a picture and look at something. Like, we was doing the Mythic Tales. I was like, I'm tired of being, like, when I was looking at the Tanadori's armor or whatever, I was like, I gotta look for blue flower or purple flowers or whatever, and I was like, I'm tired. I had to line up the picture with the scenery, and it was just like, I was like, dang, I'm tired of this. But I mean, that was just like me, like, fake complaining. But I thought that was kind of cool. Like, it again, you're not just saying, oh, well, here, go here, and you gotta ride my horse all the way here, like, but they're not. they're not the first person to actually, do that. In The Witcher 3 was kind of like that as well. And for certain things, they give you a picture, you gotta line up the picture, yourself. The game is not going to tell you.
But The Witcher 3 does have a mini map. It does have the markers.
It does. It does as well. But if you're looking for like hidden treasure or something like that, that's what I kind of mean. Like,
I will say Sucker Punch was really smart about certain things, though. The way that the side objectives are, like the Inari shrines and the way the gold birds lead you to things, like, that is their way of creating waypoint markers that you follow. It's just literally within the game world. It's like a really smart way to hide that, and it's like, so it's I don't know, I think they did some things in a really smart way, and the game is the game's thoughtful. I think there was a lot of thought.
I
put
mean,
into it.
This game is a
speaking of
6-year
which-
development game. Like, I see it in every aspect.
Right. This game used the 6-year development time, unlike Anthem. You know.
I mean, and speaking of immersion, like I didn't even know. Like, I noticed the golden birds following me, but once I felt like I couldn't hit it, I was like, okay, well, that's just a game. It was only until a villager told me told me that, the golden birds, if you follow them, they'll lead you somewhere, whatever in their superstition or whatever they believe, in the way that they told me. And I was like, shit, really? Okay.
Well,
and then I started following the gold birds more.
Well, this happened in another game, and in Monster Hunter, the very first Monster Hunter on PS2, when you wanted to find blue mushrooms, you remember the moss wine pigs?
Oh yeah.
So one of the villagers give you a tip. Like, if in Monster Hunter, you don't have to talk to the villagers a lot, but if you do, they'll be like, follow the moss wine, and like follow the moss wines, and they'll tell you where blue mushrooms at because they sniff over there. And that's how I knew how to find it. They kind of took that away in the later games, because like everything has a marker on it now, and especially in World, to make it easier for players. But that's how I always found blue mushrooms in the older games, because I used to follow the moss wine pigs to where they'll be sniffing that, and that's where blue mushrooms. So I mean, games earlier try to do it, and they have done it. But like I said, it's really thoughtful in this game too, how they just implemented every little detail. Like, they went to the utmost. It's weird because like I saw a meme right about Dark Souls, how it's like the best medieval fantasy game as far as like atmosphere. It really captures a dark medieval fantasy. But it's made by like a Japanese developer, whereas this game captures like the Japanese feudal era really good, but it's made by a Western developer. And I think that symmetry or that respect that some developers have for each other cultures is like really cool, because this game is like honestly like one of the best games I played this year. I say this year, I won't say of all time, but this year, this is one of the best games I played this year.
I feel like definitely this to me is the game of the year for me personally. But going back to the weather, right? Like, when I think about it, maybe, I was like, I'm quick to say stand and fight. Like, I'm not like so I do standoffs all the time to like start off encounters.
Yeah,
so,
but I don't know if that counts as a samurai ability because it's under the ghost menu. The standoff.
No, but if that was true, I would always see clouds or whatever, storms. Like, they say that as far as me reading into it, it says that the storms are supposed to like provide you extra cover, to allow you to use your ghost abilities. But it says anything where the enemy is not looking at you, like, is dishonorable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stabbing somebody in the back, obviously dishonorable. Me telling you stand and fight, not dishonorable.
I just love the voice lines at the beginning of the standoffs, like, "Are you cowards?" Or like, "Stand and fight," or like, "Send your best," or whatever. It's just so good. I don't know why it just tickles me so much every time.
So 2 points. I
also like hopping off the horse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, okay, the horse. Okay, there's a couple things with the horse that are fucking hilarious. Have you guys jumped off a high ledge with the horse?
No.
And the thing fucking crumples and just gets back up immediately, like nothing ever happened. Like, just do that. Jump off like a high ledge where you won't die.
I'm
like,
not gonna disrespect Kage like that. What are you talking about, man?
Oh, you call Kage too?
Yeah,
Respect, Montrell.
Oh, my horse name is Nobu.
Oh my
Lame.
god, you're that
Lame.
person.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the horse like fucking crumples. And have you gotten knocked off the horse by an enemy before too?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have,
Okay, yeah, that shit is hilarious, man. It's just like it just falls in a pile, and it's like then he just gets up and runs away. It's like,
so I do like one thing about this game, or two things rather. I like the voice acting for Japanese. I've been switching back and forth between Japanese and English. I think they're both done really well. I think whoever says this isn't the Japanese is just so superior, you're being a fucking elitist, and you need to go jump off a cliff.
The English voice track is very good in this game.
The English voice track is really good. Don't skip on it because it's really good. I mean, if you're just a person that prefers subbed, then cool, but I like the dub. It's really good. Another thing is, story wise, the main character, I like him because you see the conflict in him using dishonor. It's not like he just randomly gets these abilities and he's just like, oh, I'm the best ninja in the world. Like, it's like, no, like he has it really weighs heavy on him.
The cutscene, like the first time you use the ability.
Yeah, like
no, it happens after. I think it happens after like 3 or 4 because that's what I remember. I was like after your like 3rd or 4th stealth kill, the flashback plays in his head again, where his uncle was like, you know, kill you, like look your enemy in the eye when you kill them. You know, and it's like I thought that was a really cool touch.
And it still sticks on me when I dishonorably kill somebody. Like, this just me as a player. Like, I'm like, damn.
Starting to. Yeah. I think. Okay.
I feel like no, it don't weigh on me. Well, maybe just because I'm a little bit further in the story than you are, but it doesn't weigh me at all because it's about saving lives. At the end of the day, that's what we are doing. We are saving lives.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a game. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like we may do a spoiler cast on this game.
Oh yeah, we got to.
I do want to talk about Jin's characterization relative to that honor versus dishonor thing, but I think I want to do that. Like, I want to save that for a spoiler cast discussion. So, but yeah, this game's great. I like. I'm sure you can find a reason not to like it, but I don't know why you would. Like, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Like, this game's great. Play it. Like, that's basically all I can say about it. Like, I am surprised at how good it is. Like, I was not expecting to like it as much as I'd like The Last of Us 2, but they're kind of neck and neck for me right now in terms of which one I liked more or which one I like more. But I need to finish Ghost of Tsushima before I can like definitively say. But yeah, and with Game of the Year, like, this year is fucking hitting, you know? Like, this is insane.
It's that last year, man. They did last time, and they're doing it this time.
Dude, it's
that
crazy.
Year,
I don't think I'm gonna be able to do 5 games like at the end of the year, the way we usually do.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep the list of 5. Like, that's how good this year has been. So, man. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But
all right.
Any other thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima?
No, that's all I got. I wasn't expecting to talk about this long, but yeah.
46 minutes into the episode. Let's move on to the news for the people. All right, let's start with Rocket League. So it was announced last week. Actually, I think this was 2 weeks ago. We missed this last week. Is that Rocket League is going free to play. It might already be free to play, actually. I don't know what the date was for this. They said in the coming weeks. This was 2 weeks ago. So I don't think it's actually live yet, but it's going free to play soon. And it will be moving off of Steam permanently. You'll still be able to play it if you own it on Steam, but it's going to the Epic Games Store. And they did say, so there's a quote here, quote, Rocket League will make its debut in the Epic Games Store when it goes free to play. It will be identical to the version on other platforms and will feature cross-platform play with all Rocket League platforms. Once Rocket League goes free to play, anyone who already owns it on any platform, including Steam, will be able to play the game with full support for future updates and features. However, the Steam version will no longer be available to download for new players. So, yeah, we talked about this a long time ago. Montrell and I did when this was first announced, like when Psyonix was acquired by Epic. We kind of talked about this, that this was very likely that it would be coming off Steam, and that it would be going to the Epic Games Store. Like, I am not surprised by this at all. The fact that it's going free to play, though, is an interesting change because this game's 5 years old at this point. I think it just celebrated its 5-year anniversary actually last month. And yeah, so I mean, does it annoy you guys at all that it's coming off Steam, or is this par for the course?
I don't really care, honestly. I've never really played Rocket League. Like, I have it on Xbox, but
yeah. But what if it was another game you play, like I don't know, some other multiplayer game, you know, where it just like moves platforms? The thing is, they're not. It's going to be cross-platform with the other platforms. They said it here, so it doesn't seem like it's going to have that big of an impact on Steam.
I mean, okay, but can you still play the game on PC outside of Steam?
Yeah. No. Yeah. You'll be able to play it on Epic Games Store. It won't be on Steam, but if you own it on Steam, you'll be able to play it.
I mean, right. Okay, right. So that's what I'm saying. So you can still play it on PC. It's just not going to be on Steam. So I wouldn't care about that. And especially if you're telling me if I already own the game on Steam, I can continue to play it on Steam. Like, you know, I don't care. Like, if I wanted the game on PC, I just gotta go to Epic Games. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, I think people are upset because I think they're worried that eventually they'll drop Steam support, even for people who own it.
I mean, probably, honestly.
The fact that it's free to play, the fact that it's going free to play kind of lends credence to that idea, though. Like, why not?
As long as they have some kind of system where I can transfer my stuff over to my Epic Games account.
They will.
Then, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Now, the problem, that's when the problem will come into hand. That's when I'll start being judgmental over it. If you're like, yeah, we're not gonna stop Steam support, and we're not gonna have any way for you to transfer all your hours or skins and everything over to Epic. Sorry, bye. Like that's some bullshit. Yeah, and that's when I'll understand. Like if they decide never to support this game company again, I will understand that. But as of right now, we don't know, and that's not happening. So I just say it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, if you want to, it's not like you have to pay to play on Epic Game Store. Like you're just going to another platform. So
yeah,
I mean that's one more client to install. But whoa, 100 megabytes. Oh my god, whatever. So
yeah, I will say the Epic Games Launcher is annoying if you don't turn the notifications off, but you can turn them off. So
okay,
it's not that big of a deal. So all right, let's move on. This one caught my attention, man, on Twitter. So Sony announced that basically, or not announced, I think they were answering a question, but PS4's DualShock is not going to be compatible with PS5 games. It will work on the PS5 with PS4 games.
But it's like, duh.
People are upset about this, though.
Duh.
They're
like,
very mad about this.
Why would a PS4 controller work with the PS5 game? Why would I even, like, literally, why would I even put time into developing something like that?
Exactly.
A compatibility software. In that case, why do you need a PS5 controller? Like,
that's what my thing was like, developers would have to develop their games for the lowest common denominator of hardware, which they're not going to want to do. This is why Microsoft's decision to make all their first party games like cross-platform between Xbox One and Xbox Series X is such a big deal, because developers have to develop the game to work on the older hardware, which is actually takes some effort.
Yeah, it can limit them. So
well, it can limit design space too if they think that they're going to get more sales on the older consoles, right?
Yeah.
So and in this case though, like with the PS4 controller, like that controller is not going to have all the technology that the DualSense is going to have. And that will limit design space within these games, and developers aren't going to want to do that. So, and Sony's never been the company to do that, frankly. I do have a question actually for you guys, since you play Xbox so much. Did the Xbox 360 controller work with Xbox One games or no?
No.
So that doesn't even work, even though it's like the same controller largely.
No, but it's the opposite though. Like a 360 controller will work with a 360 game on Xbox One.
Yeah, which is exactly what they're saying here, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's how it works.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what the issue is. Like,
there's no example.
Like,
there's no example I can think of where a controller from a prior generation worked with the newer generation's games. Maybe older generations. Like the only one I can think of is like the GameCube on the Wii, because it actually had GameCube controller ports. But that was because it was backwards compatible with GameCube games. I don't know if that controller actually worked with Wii games. I don't think it did for most of them, unless the game specifically was built to allow that, because they had the Wii remote, which is completely different from a GameCube controller.
That's why I think it's just totally unrealistic for...
Yeah.
I didn't understand. At first, I was upset because I thought it said PS5 controllers would not work on PS4 games. And I'm like, that's stupid. Why not? But as I read it, like, because the way they had it worded in the initial tweet, it sounded like that. Like, I hate when articles, like publications, do that with their fucking tweets.
Clickbait.
Yeah, they real clickbaity with it, and they word it a certain way to where you react to the title instead of the actual article. So I did read that, and I was like, what the fuck? That's stupid. Then I read it, and I'm like, oh, that's not dumb. That's just common sense. And even though people read it and they're like, oh, this is stupid, why can't I play my PS4 game or my PS4 controller on PS5 games? I'm like, that's dumb. That has never happened in the history of video games. Like, where are you guys coming from with this? So
yeah, right. Dude, this is what we were talking about this pre-show though. Is like gamers, like what? It's just like they got to be mad about something every day. It doesn't matter what the day is, dude. They got to be fucking angry about some fucking thing. Go play your goddamn games.
We have to be mad because we are the gamers. So yeah, I'll say we have to be mad.
Get off the internet and go play your goddamn games. Like, stop being angry about everything. Like,
I will say, this is as much as I like the speculation era of the new gen console, I also hate this era. This happens every era. We get to a plateau within that current console generation where people are like, console wars are stupid, and then the new consoles come out and everyone's like, oh, Xbox, oh, PS4 or PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever. And I don't like that aspect of this, and I kind of forgot about it until now. I'm like, oh man, the console people have been getting along very well. I mean, we still got the PC assholes, but whatever. But now it's just like, it's back to the same old Xbox versus PlayStation bullshit, and it's like, I'm really over it at this point. I just want to play video games. Like, that's where I'm at this point.
I just need them to come out so we can shut up and get back to that plateau, because I'm over it. But yeah, like the PS5 controller will work with PS4 games. I don't think they've confirmed that, but it would be really dumb if it didn't. Like, there's no reason the new controller still has a touchpad on it.
Yeah, that was really weird when I started seeing that and people were getting upset about it. I just didn't understand it. Maybe I thought I was slow. I'm like, am I reading this article wrong? Because that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know. It was the Game Pass thing all over again. So that's how I feel about it.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on. We got another Sony related controversy. So Square Enix and Eidos Crystal Dynamics announced that Marvel's Avengers is going to have timed exclusive cosmetics, skins, and content on PlayStation when it comes out next month. And one of these things is going to be the character Spider-Man is going to be PlayStation only. Period. The end. I don't think he's ever coming to Xbox or any other platform.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Okay. Think about it though. It makes sense. The game Spider-Man is exclusive to PlayStation, so it kind of makes sense in this case. I know it's not great. It's not a great look, and I don't support this, but it does kind of make sense.
Now I'm not mad at that because they did this on Soul Calibur 2. Link was exclusive to Soul Calibur 2.
They did it with Destiny as well.
Yeah, and Destiny. So I'm not mad at this. What I would like is for them to be fair to both consumer bases and have like an Xbox exclusive character. Maybe you can only get Master Chief in the Avengers. Like, that would be fucking cool. That would be fucking cool, right? Like, have Master Chief or something like that. So they could do that shit. Like, I would try to target that. Like,
well, the thing is, they announced this first, so maybe that's true. Maybe there will be an exclusive character. We don't know. The game's not out for a month, so it's possible that that's the case.
See, the thing is, I don't think that will happen because they didn't do it with Destiny. Destiny didn't have exclusive content for Xbox. They didn't get that content until actually 3 years. Actually, I think 3 of the raids are still only PS4 exclusive. Like, you can't get those.
Sony's definitely had a history of doing this generation, buying exclusive content in games, and this is not good. This is not a consumer friendly practice. I personally do not like this kind of stuff. But I understand why Sony does it. They want people to play every game on PlayStation if they can. So this is their incentive to doing that, because a lot of people want to play Spider-Man, dude. Like, they're going to want to play Spider-Man. So I get it from their perspective. The place I don't get it from is Square and Crystal Dynamics. Like, you must have been paid a lot of fucking money for this, to make this exclusive, because you're putting dev time into making this character, making items for him, making skills for him, making animations for him, skins for him and everything like that. It's like, it's a lot of effort to put in for something like this, for a game that's third party to have this kind of exclusive content. And I don't like it. Just, I don't know. Like, if I was a developer and I was approached by Sony for like exclusive shit, I feel like I'd turn it down, but I guess it depends on the dollar signs. Like, if the dollar signs were large enough, I might change my mind. That's what it makes me wonder. I wish we knew how much like Sony paid for this, because they definitely paid for it. There's no way they didn't. Like, they wouldn't, like, Square wouldn't just do this. I don't think.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely Sony paying for it. I don't like it, and I didn't like it when it was in Destiny. I don't like it now. The Spider-Man thing, I can understand that. Like I said, I don't think character being exclusive, content-wise, I don't like that. Characters, we've been doing this all the way since like the 6th gen. Like I said, Soul Calibur did it where PS2 had Itachi, Xbox had Spawn, and then
Nintendo had Link, which was Link, the best version of the game.
So I don't mind that. So, but I think if they do the one, they should do it for the other. Like that's what I do think, in my opinion. But I mean, I guess
if money's involved and Xbox doesn't want to pay up,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
So, So there's gonna be stuff for PS Plus as well that's exclusive to PS Plus too. So, I don't know. This game just seems like, people are getting excited about it for sure, like this game, but I just think the way.
I hope this game surprised me like Ghost of Tsushima did. Yeah. I hope it surprises me.
Just the way it's being marketed is not appealing to me, though. I don't like some of the things they're doing, and the game it looks so heavily based around multiplayer, and I don't know why that is. So I guess we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We got a story about Blizzard. So Jason Schreier wrote a Bloomberg article about Blizzard that many employees within Blizzard posted a spreadsheet. Basically, they made a spreadsheet amongst themselves anonymously, posting what their salaries were, and these salaries were significantly lower than industry standards for similar positions. And like some of these positions were like, there was one person that was like, I think they were like a product manager, and they were making like 73,000, and then they left and went to Riot, and they got literally twice as much money from Riot. Like it was like 150,000 to do the same job for Riot. This was also in the context of Blizzard's executives making 40 million, or like Bobby Kotick in particular making $40 million in 2019, and many of the executives at Blizzard making millions and millions of dollars. So this one's a interesting one to me. I would suggest people go look this up themselves to kind of make their own judgments on it. I'm kind of two minds about it, because there's the side of it that you have to kind of fight for what you're worth. If you accept a position where you're offered lower than industry standards for something, that's partially on you. But at the same time, if Blizzard's doing this to every one of their employees, or a large group of their employees, that is kind of on them at a certain point too. So I don't know. There's kind of a give and take with this one for me. What do you guys think?
I looked at it a little bit too. The salaries that were shown weren't bad salaries. Like, it weren't like they're getting paid like $2 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, right. This isn't like the Activision story that we talked about last year, where contractors were getting paid like, $10-15 an hour. Or something like that in California. It was like, no, it's not that bad. These people can live off these wages. But.
Yeah, they can definitely like, even the entry level wages were like $16-17 an hour, and I'm like, that's cool for an entry level. Like, you're fresh out of college. I think that's a decent wage.
I don't think that's a decent wage for somebody being fresh out of college. That's a decent wage for somebody being fresh out of high school.
Well, it was like intern. I think it was like intern / entry level.
Fresh out of college, not when you normally have student loan debts. No, college degree, you're a professional, a specialized person. Like that.
But yeah, that's true. I'm like I said, I'm being a realist about the situation, so I'm not expecting to make $60K outside when I come out of college. I know you gotta start somewhere.
Well, it depends on where you live, though. Yeah. This is in the heart of California, so $15 an hour is not enough to live there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's part of the problem.
But like I said, I think that was for the screenshot you posted up. I think the $15 to $17.
That was an intern position.
That was an intern position. Yeah.
But the thing about it is, it's about what the top of the line makes. The CEO was making $33 million.
Right.
And the bottom of the ring employee, that's the same issue that people have with Amazon. Jeff Bezos is like this huge, the richest person in the world, and his employees are struggling.
Yeah.
Hey man, he earned that shit though.
I'm not I'm not
Okay.
against
Well,
them.
so
I'm just saying they're
part of
top
this, though,
CEO.
No,
Jason did post-
I'm just bullshitting, but I agree with that. I think, especially in gaming, I think the developers need to get paid more. Like that's just straight up.
Well, we got to be honest though here about this. Gaming is an industry where people are paid very well a lot of the time. There are companies like, I guess Blizzard is one of them, where there are exceptions to that, but largely, like, people are getting fucking paid. 6 figures is a very common salary figure.
Yeah, I saw the Riot Games, like,
but Activision is huge.
I know. There's no excuse for Activision, especially Blizzard, not compensating their employees the way somebody like Riot would. Like, they have the money to do that, and they should be doing it. And people shouldn't be accepting salaries like that are like, this is the thing. It's a prestige thing, right? They want to work for Blizzard because that enables you to work anywhere you fucking want. You put that on your resume, you can go work anywhere. Like, you worked at Blizzard, like, oh my god,
right?
It's the same thing with like Naughty Dog or Riot. Actually, probably is another company like that. And you go there, you get interviewed, they accept you, they want to hire you, and then they give you the salary figure, and you're like, oh shit, it's like, oh, this is like way less than I was expecting, but this is Blizzard. I want to work at Blizzard, so you accept that, and that creates this situation where if a lot of people do that, Blizzard just starts doing this to everyone. And it's like, this getting exposed is a good thing to me, because it will discourage them from doing that. And then people coming in will be more aware of this and will demand more money. Hopefully that's what change will come from this. Hopefully.
And then not to mention with Activision's Blizzard, they were laying people off.
That's true as well.
They were laying people off.
Right.
The CEO is making $33 million, and you're talking about, we can't afford you. We gotta reduce our workforce.
I think he got a bonus that same year too.
He did get a bonus. Yeah, no, this was last year. He made $40 million last year with his bonus.
Yeah,
Bobby Kotick.
That's crazy.
He's definitely one of the like slime bag CEOs within gaming that most people dislike.
Yeah, and being someone who used to be like, who went to college for it and wanted to be a game designer or a character designer for like one of these companies, it was definitely the mentality for us was like, yo, I don't even fucking care the pay. I just need the reputation that on my resume. I work with Blizzard, or I work with Capcom, or I work with, not saying Capcom doing the same thing, but I'm just naming out examples, right? And that was the mentality for all of us. Like, if you got in, you did whatever you needed to do to get that on your resume. Even if you was a contractor, just saying I'm a contractor for X company, like, that looks really good on your resume, not only for your portfolio or design portfolio, but just like, man, he worked for this, he did this kind of work, and I seen that work on games. So I definitely think they take advantage of that. They take advantage of the reputation that people know it gives them.
Prestige.
And definitely, and on top of that, just to piggyback off what you're saying, it's always going to be somebody who's willing to take your spot. So if you don't take this job, somebody's going to take that low paying job. And that's what they know.
This is what enables crunch culture within games as well. I think a lot of this, the same thing. Like, you're gonna work 80 hours a week or 60 hours a week because everyone around you is doing that. So if you don't, guess what? You're like, even though it's not really legal for them to hold that against you, they're probably going to hold it against you anyways, because you're not pulling your weight the same way everyone around you is. It's
exactly.
Like, so you end up just falling into this culture where it's like, fuck, I have to crunch. Like, if I want to keep this job, I have to crunch.
So
it's like,
those are the big things that need to change. They need to change. First, it has to come from workers in general. I think.
I was about to say the same thing.
I think designers. I think especially teachers. The way they taught us. Well, this was back in like 2012 when I was graduating, and my teacher was like, yo, you gotta do whatever you gotta do to get in there, because there are a lot of people fighting for your spot, so you gotta do what you gotta do. I think that needs to change. I think that mentality right there needs to change. I understand it's kind of a dog eat dog world, like we all have to make ourselves look better, but it's kind of hurting us at the same time, like because if I don't do it, someone definitely will. Like, oh, he didn't take that $12 an hour for working with Blizzard. Man, I'm working with Blizzard. I'll take the $12 an hour. I will work out of a shoebox just to work with Blizzard. Like,
I will live out of my car.
Yeah, just to work
for Blizzard.
Yeah, and that mentality needs to change, because they would definitely take advantage of you. And then, like you said, you're not keeping up with the culture of the company. They can blackball you just as fast. Like they can call other companies around or their friends or whatever, and like, yeah, John, I had him. Oh, you're thinking about hiring John? Well, I had him, and he was only willing to put in 60 hours instead of 80 hours. And people will look at that. They're like, all right, well, I guess I'm not hiring John then.
Yeah,
Because
and they can't tell you. They can't tell you legally that that's why they're not going to hire you. But
exactly,
they can make up a reason. They can be like, oh, you don't have enough experience. You know, even though it's like you're perfectly qualified. I mean, how are you going to prove that? You can't prove that you're qualified. It's like a subjective thing, you know?
Exactly.
Right.
So it's,
I just think that, it's because I was just thinking about it. It's because the gaming industry, like the developing industry, does not have a union. Unions are amazing things. Because I think to myself as an educator, it's way different working in a charter school. They can do whatever they want versus working in a public school system that has a union. Certain things just can't happen. When you have collective bargaining agreements and things of that nature, like that's the reason why. If there was a collective bargaining agreement in place for like developing, they would get paid what they're supposed to get paid. It wouldn't be an issue. Well, but because these companies can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Gotta unionize.
Go ahead, Montrell.
I think it's an issue in gaming in general. Not just outside of development. I mean, in development, but in general, in like the media and things of that nature. Because the same way for us, like if we want our podcast to pop off, we have to know somebody. It's the same way to get a job in development. You have to know somebody. There are rarely people who come off the streets like just have a great. You can have the best portfolio, but if Bob knows the head of somebody or knows somebody, his portfolio can be really good. Like his may be an 8, yours may be a 10, but they're going to hire Bob because Bob knows John. That's what's inside that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And John vouches for Bob.
Exactly, and it's the same thing in media in general. Like you can have the best podcast in the world, you can have the best newscast in the world. I was complaining about this actually a couple of weeks ago, but because of who you know, you may get certain chances or opportunities that other may not have. And I don't know how you change that culture. I understand that's just a part of, I guess, business in general. But I mean, in gaming, it's just because gaming is so small, it's just exacerbated to the 10th degree, to levels that sometimes are unachievable, in my opinion. So I think gaming needs like a real overhaul as far as networking and getting jobs and how we do said jobs and perform it and run them.
Yeah, I mean, union talk has been something that's talked about a lot with these issues in recent years. So, and Jason's pushing that as much as he can. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it. We've already seen it in other countries. So, it's like it's really the only recourse in some of these situations. Unless a bunch of individuals make choices that changes this kind of culture, it's going to take something like unions for any real change to happen within the industry. So go ahead and check that out if you want to see like specifics on certain salaries for certain employees. It's definitely an interesting read on that front. So all right, let's move on to our final story. I forgot about this last week, so we're going to talk about it this week. MPD numbers for June, and they're interesting once again. It definitely a little bit.
Wait, do you mean July?
No, June. Numbers for July won't come out until the end of August. So yeah, MPD numbers usually come out 3 weeks to a month after the month preceding. So this is for June 2020 sales. Total video game sales, 934 million last year, and this year 1.178 billion, 26% increase. Video game hardware was actually down this year, 231 million last year, 191 million this year, down 17%. Then video game software, physical and digital, from Nintendo, PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, 382 million last year versus 570 this year. 49% increase. And then video game accessories was 322 million last year versus 417 this year, 29% increase. So still very large increases, but tapering off a little bit on the hardware side. I'm wondering if that's because of shortages that were happening in June, particularly with the Switch that was going on, and I think it's still going on. I still think the Switch is hard to find at this point, but hard to say specifically, but that would be my guess. But yeah, I mean, game sales though in general are just still really high. COVID has really just completely changed things this year, because usually, like Tiara, like last year at this time we were doing these, and the sales numbers were just completely cratering. Like it was like minus like 40% to last year. It was like 500 million versus 900 million or something like that. It was crazy. Crazy stuff. So
yeah, I mean, nobody got nothing to do. So
well, and because it's the end of the generation, it happens every generation, right? Sales in
really?
games tend to taper off because people are anticipating the next gen. Like games still sell, but hardware doesn't. Because people don't want to buy a PS4 when PS5 is coming out in 4 months. It's like it makes sense, but it's just like COVID completely threw that out the window because people were bored. Like there's nothing to do. You're stuck inside, and that's still the case for a lot of people. So that's definitely had a huge effect on the industry. But let's go into sales specifically for games. Top 20 software sales for the month of June. So number 1, The Last of Us Part 2. No surprise there. I'm going to be interested to see where it lands this month. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, number 2. Animal Crossing New Horizons, number 3. Grand Theft Auto 5 at 4. Mortal Kombat 11 at 5. This game is definitely not dying because it came out last year. And it's still on these lists.
Well, yeah, but that's because Aftermath just came out.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. I guess that explains it a little bit. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7, Ring Fit Adventure on the Switch. This game actually is still showing up on these lists too. Number 8, NBA 2K20, to Montrell's favorite game. Number 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep. Hell yeah, man. Still alive and kicking. That game is literally like 6 years old or 7 years old, isn't it? Like I know it's the Switch version, but that is a re-release of the Wii U game. That's fucking hilarious that game is still selling like crazy. Number 10, Minecraft Dungeons. Number 11, Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 12, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 13, Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition.
There's your favorite
that
game.
it's that specific version that hit the list. 14, Zelda Breath of the Wild. 15, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow.
Number 16, Borderlands 3. Number 17, Need for Speed Heat. What is it with this game?
All right, Justin, we gotta buy this game.
I have to buy this. I have to
buy
this and play it. Is this game good? Why does it show up on this list every month? I don't understand it.
Sometimes I feel like games sell because of like a self-fulfilling circle. Like you're thinking, why is this game selling? I've got to play it, and so you're adding to the numbers.
I know.
It's like,
right, we're gonna buy
why
it.
is this game selling? Yeah. And then that's what I think. Like you buy a game,
right?
And you're contributing to the numbers.
And then to round it out, 18, Persona 4 Golden.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Wait,
that came out on Steam.
Okay,
That came out on Steam.
Okay.
I was like, wait a second, that's a Vita game.
I was like, wait, I thought you said my brain went to Persona 5 Royal. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I know. I had to double take for a second, but yeah, it came out on Steam. That does make sense. Then 19, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
That actually 20, makes sense. That makes sense.
20, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
So, Last of Us 2 at number 1. I don't think I'm surprised by that. But I've heard a lot of people seem to be speculating the game's sales fell off hard in weeks 2 and 3, though. So we'll see how it falls this month.
If you got people doing fucking research projects about Abby's fucking arms and looking at dude, I'm sorry.
Yo, I haven't even played Last of Us 2, and that's so funny because I saw a snippet of it like on Twitter, and I just knew that's what they were talking about.
I'm sorry, we gotta talk about this real quick.
Like
I know this is a sidebar.
No, that's not even an exaggeration. People were literally doing whole research projects. They're like, if you take a look at her exercise schedule, it doesn't add up. I was like,
Oh
my God, dude.
I'm like, bro, are y'all serious right now? And the foods are rationed. They said in the dialogue, the foods are rationed. So how is she getting these arms this big? And I'm like, bro, it's a fucking video game.
Like, calm the fuck down.
Relax.
It's a plot point, okay? Her being big is a plot point. It's important to the plot. It doesn't matter how she got fucking big. Like, it's just, like, get over it. Move on. Find a different game to play, okay? Go complain about PS4 controllers not working with PS5 games. Do that, please. That's like better than talking about Last of Us 2 anymore.
She didn't consume enough calories in order to build all it and protein to build all of that muscle.
The desperation is
and literally, but understand, I'm still at the beginning of the first lesson. I'm not even immersed the universe, and I knew what they were talking about, and it made me mad because I was just like, why are you talking about
there's just a desperate hatred for this game that is completely, I think, irrational. I don't think it's rational at this point. That is clear from the fact that you are looking on a fucking wall in her fucking apartment and looking at her goddamn training schedule to figure out if her arms could realistically be as big as they are. Get a fucking life. Jesus Christ.
I don't get it. Like the YouTube video, I only got like through 3 minutes of the YouTube video before I turned it off.
There's a YouTube video on there?
That dude who linked it, he made a YouTube video. And it's like, bro, like, if we're gonna talk about this, right? Like, let's be realistic. There are certain aspects of Final Fantasy VII Remake where Cloud jumps over a fucking building. He can jump, like, his vertical was like 40 feet, but then sometimes he can't jump 40 feet. Or we can just talk about him in general, right? This dude's skinny. He's like maybe about 50, maybe about 30 pounds bigger than me, right? And I think he's about 5'7", 5'8". So this dude weighs about 165. Let's just give it that. $165, $170 for being fucking generous. Is he soaking wet? Yeah, exactly. How the fuck can he operate this goddamn Buster Sword the way he does? Like, we can say, oh, it's the Mako magic inside of him. No, fuck that. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't.
No,
we just accept that. We just accept it. We don't care.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Right. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know if you are into anime or manga, but the manga Berserk. Guts, the main character wields this huge, like,
fucking sword,
but it's explained that it takes a lot of strength, and Guts is a big dude, like he looks like he's about 6'3", and he's like super muscular and all that, and so it makes sense.
But like, even still, the way how big that sword is unrealistic.
But that's what I'm saying. Compared to Cloud, it's no way you'll be able to lift that sword up.
Yeah.
And then
I don't care how strong you are. I don't think there's a human that could lift Cloud's sword, probably.
Even with ease.
Right.
Exactly.
Swing it the way he does, right.
Exactly. And then even if you want to talk about that, like Monster Hunter's the same way. Like, you get blown up by fucking Rathalos in the fucking face with a fireball, and you get up and like drink your potion. You're like, oh, I'm good.
You get fucking bit with a dragon draws literally chomp down on you, and you just fall backwards, and you get up, and you're perfectly fine.
And then
you're like,
and then even with like that, it doesn't make any sense. Like, let's say Sekiro, right? Like, he has a prosthetic arm. Like, we don't have prosthetic arms that function that well. And this is like in the Japanese feudal era. So how are they doing that? So it's like, these are video games, bro. Like, they're video games.
It's called suspension of disbelief.
Exactly.
It exists in all fictional mediums.
This is a plot. She was big for the plot. She's a character. It's not like she was fucking Goku and blasting buildings. Now that would be unrealistic.
Flying around, throwing kamehamehas out there. Yeah, no.
No, but I often think about that when I see stuff like Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, they're blasting through so many buildings. Like, you are dead.
Exactly, but it's like, it's realistic within that game world, and I can maybe it is a little bit unrealistic that her arms are that big, and they rationing food and stuff like that. Whatever, I don't fucking care. Like, she's just big, bro. All right, and it's not like she's unrealistically big. She's just a muscle builder.
I know it's not like she's not like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger at his peak. Like big. Like, okay, she's she's pretty. She's got big arms. Like, she's got big arms, but it's like, it's something I think is in the realm of possibility. You spend 4 years trying really hard, training like crazy. Yeah, food's ration, but how the fuck you don't fucking know if they didn't, like, she's like one of the most important people in that society. They could have picked her, put her aside and been like, look, we're going to give you extra food because you're important. Like, we don't know that. They didn't explain that. Like, you guys are getting way too desperate. There's ways that this could be explained within the game world. It's not that unrealistic.
Even within that game world, right? The lady she's fighting is like at least a foot taller than her and bigger than her. She's swinging that club around and everything like that. Yep. Where did the food she get? Where's her food at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna talk about it all the way. Like, let's just be realistic about the situation. But they don't want to do that.
But they're not honest. That's my point about it being irrational. They're not. They don't care about anything other than making sure they can pick apart Abby and make her the worst character to ever be created in a video game. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what the whole discussion's about. They don't give a shit about making sure it's consistent with the rest of the game. Like, that's not important to them. So this discussion is stupid. I'm over it. I'm sick of this shit. There's other games that came out. Play those games. Move on. You hate this game. Go play something you enjoy.
Mario Kart is right there, guys.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. Is right there.
Minecraft. Fucking Mortal Kombat 11. Ghost of Tsushima.
Nope, that you can't play that because they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, whoa, that's unrealistic."
I know, but you know what's so funny about Ghost of Tsushima? When I'm climbing them shrines, I'm like, "Wow, I don't die 50 million times. I do this whole jump to get onto a tightrope."
Yeah.
That's like, no, there's no way you'll jump onto a tightrope. Like,
nope. Well,
I died a million and one
the
times.
fact that you can literally get hit by endless sword strokes, and you just you use resolve and like hit yourself in the wound, and you're perfectly fine, dude. You know, you just got sliced in half. Just hit yourself in the chest a couple times, and you're good.
That's such a manly thing,
you know?
though. That's such a manly thing.
I know
that's why I love it. It's
so
like, yeah, you hit yourself in the chest, and it's like, you know, you psych yourself up, and it's like, all right, we're good to go.
I laugh at it every time. I'm like, man, Jin's got more grit than anyone that's ever existed.
Like, you do this grunt, and then now you're all back. It doesn't matter what happens to you. You get lit on fire. You know,
no,
you just
I've been fucking tossed by a bear like 20 feet in the air, and I just get up and like hit the wound a couple times. I'm good to go, man. You know, it's like nothing happened. That bear didn't even touch me. You know,
see, they're not gonna talk about that. Like, I don't. It's dumb, man, and I don't know.
Video games are dumb.
They are, and I don't fucking care. You know what's fucking ridiculous though? How fucking Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart still fucking on this goddamn list for the umpteenth month in a row. That's what's fucking crazy. No one's talking about that shit though. You know what? I am so over I'm not even going to mention that fucking game.
It's number 5 on the top selling games of the year list.
That's fucking wild. I fucking hate that game. I actually like the story of that game too, but now I hate it because it keeps selling.
You know what's worse?
I hate the game because it keeps selling.
You want to know what's worse? You guys want to know what's worse? Call of Duty Modern Warfare is number 1, and it came out last year. Fuck me.
But Modern Warfare is pretty good.
I know, but it came out last year.
Yeah, but there's no. But it's the latest
same year. Okay, this is the same year that Animal Crossing came out. Animal Crossing. Call of Duty. Like, how much brand power does Call of Duty have that it's outselling Animal Crossing in a year where it has sold like 20 fucking million copies?
All right,
Animal Crossing is insane.
I'm gonna be super controversial, and people I think even Tiara about to get on me about this one. So same people that buy Call of Duty. Not all of y'all, of course, but the same, because I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is my first time buying it though, in like maybe 5 or 6 years. But same people that usually buy Call of Duty every year are the same people that buy Madden and 2K. Like, it's just
no, that's real. No,
come
that's
on,
real.
Montrell. Yeah.
No, that's
Why do you gotta take shots at those people, man? Look, I understand.
Every year. That's true.
I understand. We have well-documented issues with sports games, but Montrell is just taking a cheap shot. I'm sorry, you guys.
I swear to God. Okay, go to one of your friends' houses that just plays 2K and Madden. You will see Call of Duty right there next to it.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit that it's true. You're saying it in a negative way. You're trying to take a shot at these people.
Because I used to be one of these people. I am. And I woke up. You know that? I'm woke now.
You're Fuck you. Oh my god.
I would probably admit I'm an elitist when it comes to those games because I used to be that person.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with it. Buying the Call of Duty, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it's number one because it's still the latest Call of Duty that's out. There's no Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's, that has Call of Duty even been announced what the next Call of Duty is gonna be?
No. I mean, they did say something, but they didn't really say anything else.
I don't know. That's
that's what I'm saying. Normally, around about this time, we would have known what the next Call of Duty
isn't it a new
is
Black
be.
Ops? I thought it was Black Ops.
Oh yeah, it is a new. They said 2021 though. I think.
No.
Well, you also got to think too, Justin. This one revamped everything. Like they kind of started back, and they got a lot of old fans. Yeah, got a lot of old fans back into it. So, like me,
I know, but this is Call of Duty's come back with a vengeance because I feel like sales were tapering a bit the last few years, particularly early in this generation, and it just seems like they came roaring back with this last year's version. Like it's crazy, dude. The sales are nuts. So, all right, one more little addendum here. This is our final story. PlayStation actually came out and talked about their sales in the last quarter. And they have sold. So lifetime sales of the PS4, they sold 1.9 million units in this quarter, April 1st to June 30th. Lifetime sales of the console are at 112.1 million, which is fucking nuts. And let's see, they sold 3.2 million PS4s during the same time frame last year. So there was some definitely drop in sales numbers. But the thing that is very important here that I want to point out is that 74% of all PlayStation game sales in this last quarter were digital. 74%, which is a very considerable bump from last year where it was 53%. So I would say COVID had a lot to do with this. Obviously, people can't leave their house, so they're buying the games digitally. But it's making me wonder if this might push people who traditionally wouldn't buy digital to start doing it going forward.
I already said
pretty much
is.
Everybody buys digital except y'all. So.
Oh my god.
You are you're so wrong about this. Like you would be very surprised how many people
but I'm not
buy. You guys are.
But I'm not though.
You're the reason we have microtransactions.
Most of my friends.
You motherfuckers are the reason we have microtransactions. Like you just accept whatever they tell you. You know. Oh, buy the game digitally. It's so much more convenient. Yeah. Well, guess what? You don't own it. You can't sell it anymore.
Yes, but now my friend can play the same game. So now we don't have to come out with $60 twice.
I guess if you like it, I love it.
I guess that's a perk.
If you like it, I love it.
I'm not sharing my games with anybody. So, yeah. But I mean, that's a huge jump. Like that 74%. Like we crested 50% last year for the first time, and that was a significant moment. And the fact that it's already jumped up to 74% in a quarter, that's crazy. I mean, I know COVID precipitated it, but I feel like COVID is really pushing this in a lot of different industries, because in movies we are starting to see that industry is now accepting the fact that they might have to start releasing movies digitally outside of the theaters to get them out. Like because Mulan, it was just announced today, Mulan is coming out digitally $30 on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but who would pay $30?
Understood. They got to figure out pricing, but the fact that they're doing that is that is a huge monumental shift in the way that industry has worked. They would never do that. It has happened, as far as I know, one fucking time that a movie's been released digitally before it was in theaters. Or if it was, I mean, there are probably smaller movies that this is true for, but one that was marketed and one that was supposed to be big. And that was because of a controversy. And it was The Interview with Seth Rogen and James Franco a few years ago. I think this was in 2015 or 2014, where they were like, you know, it was a movie making fun of North Korea or whatever. That's the only other movie I can think of that's done this.
I know what you're talking about.
Is this big. And Mulan is a huge one. This is a Disney proper IP. They're going to be releasing that digitally. So that's a big deal. These are shifts. Like things are shifting. Digital is definitely, I mean, it's been here for 10 years or more even, but it's starting to take over now, I think. Like I think COVID's like pushing a lot of these industries over the edge with digital. With games, it's more consumer driven, but with movies, it's going to be more company driven because theaters can't open. You know, a lot of theaters can't even open. So it's like if you want to make money, you need to release the damn movie at some point. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just sit on it for a
Okay,
year.
right? Yeah, right. So I'm saying you can't just wait.
Yeah, you can't sit on it for a year because you need to make revenue. You know, it's like you can't. So it's like they don't really have a choice in that industry. But here in games, it's like it's interesting that consumers are voluntarily going to digital so fast. You know, so it's making me wonder if the PS5, the version that is going to be all digital, if that one is going to outsell the one with the disc drive. I wouldn't be surprised by that at this point. So, what do you guys think overall, though? I know I talked a lot there.
Yeah, you did, motherfuckers. I'm joking.
Sorry, I had a lot to say.
I mean, I'm pretty much already accepted the fact that people are moving to digital, and I'm like, it's gonna be the way of the future, unfortunately.
Like I said, you people are
my god, you people. Oof.
Oh my god,
You
she just
people.
pulled that on us, bro.
You people.
You
are the
people?
only-
How
are the
dare
only
you?
ones- Are the only ones that do not buy their games digitally.
There are
So,
a lot
I
of people who
mean,
buy their games physical.
most people buy their games. You know,
I think right now is because of
digitally.
COVID. I think once or if everything opens back up, the digital sales will kind of taper off. There'll probably be more of a 60-40 thing.
But think about it, Montrell. If people get used to this, if this goes like another year that we're doing this, like, and people get used to buying digital shit, and like I said, if they go out and buy the digital PS5, they're done. They don't have a choice anymore. They have to buy everything digitally. So it's like that's kind of gonna influence it a lot. Like if there's a 50-50 split between the digital only and the disc one of the PS5 in terms of sales, I mean, guess what? That means like inherently we're going to have at a bare minimum a 50-50 split in terms of physical digital, but realistically speaking, it's going to be more like 70-30 probably because even the people with the disc drive are going to buy some games digitally, you know?
Yeah,
the way
that's
we
true.
do now.
I think a big difference will make the price a difference. If the price for the digital is lower than the price for the physical one, then yeah, like we're definitely see a culture shift as far as purchasing video games.
I had never thought, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I did not think physical would die out even this next generation. Like I thought even like the PS6 would have a disc drive and there would be physical games.
Nah, I knew by PS6 it would be dead.
These numbers are starting to make me think that that's not going to be true. You know, if this like continues, like if we go into 80%, 90%, at a certain point, it's not even going to make sense to manufacture discs anymore if the market share is that high, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We're going to be monitoring this. This is a very important thing within games. I know Tiara just thinks it's already over and digital's it, but for realistically, it's not. That hasn't been true. So we're going to keep monitoring.
I feel like you all are living in a fantasy world, but whatever you have to tell yourself to sleep better at night. Digital is already here.
I mean, it's
you people are the ones that are not on the train yet.
She's just trying to trigger us at this point.
Yep.
I'm not taking the bait. Maybe I should, but you know, we've been going for a while, so. Okay, well, that's it. That's our final story. Is there any other nonsense you guys feel like talking about before we go?
No, sir. Oh, you forgot to mention.
I did. I'm gonna mention it here in a second.
Okay.
Don't worry. Tiara, any other things you want to, rib me and Montrell about real quick?
No, I'll save it for next week.
Okay, fair enough. Oh man, I'm glad we have you on the show. I am genuinely happy we have you on the show because this would never happen if it was just me and Montrell still. Like, we would just be like, "Yep, digital's coming, guys. But physical's still, physical's still a thing. Fucking fuck sports games." Oh man. All right. That's it. So if you like the show, please like the show, review the show, subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. Share it with your friends, please. We're still looking to grow the audience. We've actually seen a little bit of growth, but we want more. So We want to start getting audience questions. Please send us questions when you can do that on Twitter at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That's the number 4, not the word. At Victorian Jedi for Tiara. I'm at ThunderNote01. The show is at The Player's Take. And you can also send questions to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And like Montrell was alluding to, I forgot to mention this early on because we talked about Ghost of Tsushima so long. I forgot to mention I was playing Brigandine. Well, my Brigandine Legends of Runercia Let's Play videos have begun rolling out on YouTube. 3 of them are already live. They're going out every other day. So one went live today, which is Tuesday. There'll be another one Thursday, then Saturday, then Monday, and that will be the cadence every other day. So check those out if you're interested in that. I'd really appreciate it. Those have been fun to do. So yeah, otherwise, I think that's all we got this week. Next week, there is a PlayStation State of Play happening on Thursday. We'll probably be talking about that, but it is for third-party stuff, so we didn't want to delay the show again this week for that. So that'll be on next week's show. So look forward to that. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you on the next one. All right, bye, guys.